Hi, guys. Hi, you guys. Hi, lovelies. How are you guys doing out there? Is everybody doing okay? I hope you guys are all right. If you've never been here before, this is the free weekly reading with me, Sarah Martucci, your local resident psychic medium, certified crystal healer, paranormal investigator, Sasquatch enthusiast, best friend to all the cryptids out there, honestly, because there's a huge question mark around whether or not I'm a cryptid myself. The point is, if you've never been here before, this is where I pull 3 piles of cards. You choose any and all that you're drawn towards. But first, we talk in a little something I like to call astrofuckery. So let's get into it. You guys, I like to focus on like two aspects that are happening, during the week, just because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. And I think it's what I think that you guys would want to know the most around like what's happening this week astrologically, because astrology just seems to be the study of how the stars are beating our ass for millions of miles away. And with that intro, look, heads up, y'all. We're in the shadow phase of Mercury retrograde coming up. You're like, Sarah, really going to start with violence? I am, and I'm sorry, you guys. But look, being forewarned is forearmed, okay? So Mercury going retrograde is going to be actually coming on the 21st officially, but as of the 7th, we've been in that shadow period. So you're probably already noticing difficulty in communicating, maybe sometimes getting what we actually want to say through. It's been a little rough out there. People are having a hard time. Vehicles are doing weird shit. Travel, communication, all that stuff's going to get fucked the fuck up, right? And with Mercury being in Taurus here, we're looking around like what we value. We're looking at our money. We're looking at our resources. And with it, again, being retrograde here, when any of the planets go retrograde, they ask us to go within. So we're looking at our own personal resources, the way in which maybe we handle our money. Maybe the way that we value ourselves is also tied to our money usage. Ooh. So we got some things coming to fruition here, okay? And we'll be able to deal more with that next week. Oh boy, next week is it's a big fucking week, y'all. Eclipse season finally starts next week, and get this shit, on my literal birthday. And it's at the exact same degree as my son. I'm terrified. What does this mean? Does that mean I turned into Mecha Godzilla? Because you know what? I'm actually here for that. If I was ever to be cryptid myself, maybe I just turned into Mecha Godzilla. I don't think anybody here would be surprised by that. Me neither. Anyways. This week, they'll offer some gorgeous stuff, okay? So not trying to get too ahead of ourselves. I just want to give you guys a heads up on the Mercury retrograde bullshit. I'm sure a lot of you guys can already feel it. And I know a lot of astrologers out there already talking about it, giving everybody a heads up. But this week, you guys, and especially on the 11th, tomorrow the 11th, we got some gorgeous stuff going on. We got Jupiter and the Sun Kazemi. What? Anytime, like, what is that, Sarah? Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. Let's get into it. Anytime a planet is Kazemi, it means that it's passing in front of the sun. So it kind of like gets to take on that energy, the warmth, the vitality, the joy, the exuberance of the sun. And with Jupiter there, this planet's already doing those things, all right? It does kind of push us to go to excess, whether that's good or bad. Jupiter here really amplifies. And both being in the sign of Aries, self-starting, maybe even like making sure that we're sitting down and we're focusing on what it is that we do want. Us specifically, like us as an individual, no matter what partnership we're in, what the fuck is going on, what do I want as an individual for myself, and like what joy, in what ways can I expand here, what ways can I like push past the bounds. And guys, if you know anything about Jupiter, not only is this, the planet of like good luck, expansion, going big or going bigger, and honestly kind of the sun is that way too. Jupiter also rules that 9th house around Sagittarius. This is around wisdom, higher education, a lot of times religion, astrology, these quests, these mental quests, these academic quests to learn more information, and to maybe even really to parse it out to others. So there is kind of like a teacher vibe with that 9th house, and with Sagittarius, because they do learn a lot. They travel a lot in their life. They experience a lot of things, and they do become some of the most apt teachers, within the zodiac, if you ask me. So I like what Channing Nichols said about this. Cheney Nicholas said about this was that, for her, it's almost like, going back to the past and thanking a teacher for what they taught you, whether good or bad. Like, what did it teach you here? And how did it help you to kind of like expand your own horizons, know that somebody was there, not being afraid to like go back and thank a teacher that, showed up for you, but also kind of taking like what I've learned here and how can I turn this into something that I can help show the way or guide other people with. Now, the only thing with like both of these signs being in Aries, there might be a tendency here to be like super selfish. So just make sure that it's not just about ourselves. And maybe that's where the teaching part comes in. It's like, what did I learn about myself with Jupiter, and Sun here? What's kind of being brought to a full illumination around who I am, maybe what the fuck I'm about, what I've learned about me, and the new horizons I'm ready to go towards. Maybe even to like a teaching element, something that we're bringing to the table. And so this is around like career and our work. Like maybe there's going to be some kind of education theme here for us going forward, or maybe we just get to kind of like specialize in something, and maybe we get to have more education here. So look, this week would be a great time to like, look into like being a teacher if you want to, or look into the ways that we can start to add in like good information, or gather that information that really supports us, again, going bigger and better, pushing past our boundaries, doing big things here. I kind of love that. Also on that same day, guys, we got Venus and Pluto in a trine. That means they're best buddies, all right? Somebody's slipping a nip. Other person's winking. Like, this is some good shit. Venus and Pluto together is like, it's hot shit, y'all. Okay? And with Venus, I think Venus on the 10th today now moves into Gemini. So I actually have this placement natally. And so may I say, from a personal viewpoint, having Venus and Gemini, this is a very sapiosexual placement. And so what that means is that if there isn't a mental connection, if we don't understand each other mentally, or like we don't get each other here in the mental space, ain't nothing happening afterwards, like not a goddamn thing. Also too, Venus in Gemini has a massive, wide and varied range of friends, like from every single imaginable viewpoint. It doesn't matter like what their background is. And again, there's also with Gemini here, this is also another air sign. So they like to learn. They like to gather that information. The more that you can teach them and like show them like a new trick or a new trade, love that shit big time. And so having lots of friends, having lots of options, that sapiosexual feel here. And guys, with Pluto in Aquarius, talk about, okay, this is just, if we don't get each other on Tuesday mentally, ain't nothing happening with this afterwards. So if you guys are hooking up with people on Tuesday, this is a really, really, really passionate combination, but especially around the mental space. So pick up who actually fucking gets you mentally. Who are the people that you want to be in partnership with? And also notice how hot that shit is. When you guys are on the same place, again, mentally, or you guys are on the same page, or you guys are vibing to that same kind of mental space if we're in that. Or maybe even to like the same subjects that like we're super excited about. Whoo, hot shit, hot shit. So maybe even too, like a weird element here on Tuesday, because that Jupiter and Sun Cazimis happen the same day. Maybe hot for teacher. Or maybe there's a teacher here that really just kind of, influenced us in such a beautiful way to be so passionate. Or maybe that influence back in the day around a teacher really has influenced us, and maybe that was the start of our passion for like maybe a certain subject. So there's a couple different ways that this can kind of pan out. But also if we're looking at like relationships and love relationships and connections here, we need a mental connection. We need a mental stimulation. It's not enough to just, say, hey, you're hot, let's go do this. Like, do you actually understand me too? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you know what I mean? And on top of that, do we give each other, I think with both Pluto and Aquarius and Venus and Gemini, are we giving each other enough room to like also be ourselves? So within our relationships, we're going to need a little more space. Or even though it's like hot and heavy, like when we need space, we need fucking space, and like honoring that as well too. Knowing that like we don't have to be together 24/7 in order for this thing to take off, or in order for this thing to feel like it's safe and secure and actually close. The mental space is what brings us together. Or there's also this place where we come back together there. No matter what happens, this is our place. And we do that either maybe even like telepathically. Normally I would kind of like give that over to Neptune, but y'all, Venus and Pluto and such a hot, heavy connection here, and such a beautiful connection as a trine. Like, this is like sparkles in the air. Like, this is really gorgeous. Again, though, with that being an Aries season, and then we've got the largest of the sun and Jupiter coming through here. Be your biggest, best self. Can I also say that too? Just be your biggest, best self. And if somebody doesn't resonate with you, then they just ain't for you. And not only is that okay, again, we're opening up space for the right people to find us, to love on us, to see where we are at, and meet us where we are at on the same fucking level. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? All right. So for anybody out there that's been having difficulties, especially after that full moon we just had in Libra, that was pretty rough on relationships. This is going to be a nice space, I think, on the 11th, to again, just really tune in. Where are we mentally? Are we connected with the ones that we love? Do they understand us and where we are mentally? Are people interested in digging deeper and knowing who and what we're about mentally? And again, where our thoughts come from. I just think that's kind of gorgeous. Now, the last thing I want to say about Venus is that I believe it's on Friday. Venus is meeting up with Saturn, and it's going to be a square. So they're kind of duking it out. But I actually like this combination, guys, because on Tuesday, we've got all this joy, this passion, this connection, maybe a lot of talking, interaction, like mental interaction, gathering information, teaching about stuff, being larger than life, and like that. Not only being okay, but like being desirable. Fuck yeah. And especially maybe even too for like our weirder thoughts. Be your weird fucking self. Let your people find you. But on Friday, Venus meeting up with Saturn, kind of duking it out here, saying like, okay. That was gorgeous on Tuesday, but how do we put like boundaries or structure around this? Will this thing actually last the test of time with Saturn here? And just making sure that like this thing actually makes sense. So again, with that call back to Tuesday, make sure that we're not just thinking about ourselves as this will always involve other people, especially whenever we're in relationships. Look, downside to Venus and Gemini, she can be super freaking flirty, and not always serious with her connections. So just don't go around like, farting in people's hearts, eating their hearts and pooping it out. And hopefully we should be okay. Just be cognizant of the way that we, again, are in interaction, that we're talking to people. And then come Friday, like we've got to put some structure and boundaries around it. Or maybe even getting like, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's almost like a reality check, around these connections, and just making sure, again, it actually makes sense. And did we just jump into this thing because we were being crazy? Or does this thing actually have the ability to go the distance? I almost want to say Tuesday is like, ooh, we got chemistry. And then Friday, do we have compatibility? All right, you guys. Hope to God that fucking made sense. All right. I hope to God that made sense. And then again, just know, guys, next week, it's eclipse season, so hold on to your titties. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm not mad about being Mecha Godzilla. I feel like I've been called worse. And if I'm going to turn into anything, maybe that. Fuck yeah. All right, you guys. If you're ready for the next part, follow me to the next screen. I'm going to pull those 3 piles of cards, choose any and all that you're drawn towards, and I'll see you guys in a sec. All right, you guys, if you got card pile number 1, you got some interesting cards here. And guys, this week I'm actually using a new deck. It's really beautiful. It is the Dreamy Moon Tarot by Annie Tarasova. It's gorgeous. I really dig it. This was a gift from my friend Jennifer Welty from Moonlight Mystic. You all check her out. She's amazing, and she does tarot readings too. Thank you, Jen. Fucking love this deck. All right, card pile number 1. Here's your beautiful cards. You got 2 major arcana cards in this one. The first one is the moon. And these major arcana cards are talking about major change, major evolution, major movement forward. You got the world. Hot damn. And then finally, you guys got the Page of Wands. This is gorgeous. Listen, can I say whoever the fuck got card pile number 1, you be traveling, boo. All right? Get ready, because you're about to go on a fucking trip. I swear, each one of these cards talks about taking a journey or literally going on a trip. With the Page of Wands, this might be a little more local, or maybe within the country that you live in, but the world is literal world travel. So we've got a couple opportunities for traveling this week. So the moon, whenever it shows up, this card is one of This is like dreams, it's mystery, like literally paying attention to your dreams, paying attention to your intuition. This is the card of the mother. And so there is an element of family and home with this card. But with this deck specifically, this is really kind of focusing on going outside of our comfort zone. We're maybe in a really an emotional space right now. We've got to use our intuition in order to kind of maneuver through things and have some courage here to take a journey and to do bigger and better things. Now, with the world showing up, God, I fucking love this card. It's one of the most beautiful in the tarot deck, and it being a major arcana card, it's just massive. The world really talks about like the end of a cycle here. Sometimes it can talk about like maybe get married, graduating, just big, beautiful, powerful stuff, something coming to an end, and we're about to start a cycle, you know, with big, beautiful, even more beautiful victory and achievement coming for us. Again, talks about world travel. The world here, though, is like it's success and victory of the highest order. And it's because of the work that we've done. This isn't pie in the sky bullshit. We've taken every element here. We've really considered all the elements in our life: fire, water, farts, and air. All the elements, all the important elements. We've brought them into our daily life, and we're trying to work towards something and huge. And so not only did we kind of manifest the life that we want, or this whole situation, again, something is coming to a close. We're ready to close this out like tears of joy. You know what I mean? And then moving on to something newer and bigger and better. And then finally with the Page of Wands, it's a court card. This can talk about somebody usually coming on the scene to help or to hinder. I usually find the Page of Wands helpful. Sometimes too, the page can talk about like a child here, because it's like a younger person on the scene. Or a lot of times this is the energy that we got to take on. So this week, if this this is around love and relationships. Who doggy? We should be traveling. You guys might be taking a trip this week. Literally maybe planning like what you guys are doing next, or this can even really talk about like sitting down. We're at the crossroads around this relationship. Where are we going? What are we doing? What are our ambitions with this? And are we courageous enough to tune into our dreams and take this next step? And so maybe we already kind of did that. There might be maybe marriage proposals this week. This is kind of huge. Or this could be like moving in with each other. This can even talk about some of the more heavier family aspect, being a part of this kind of situation too, kind of paying attention to our fears and our worries. Maybe like the dynamics that we grew up within. Maybe we've been successfully been able to like face that, deal with that, work with that within our relationships. And again, this is helping us move to the next level here. Also around love and relationships, if we are having any difficulty this week, please look towards your relationship with your mama. What the fuck went down there? Or what did we watch mama do? And so we've learned something, we've picked something up here, or something was maybe even passed down. And so we've got to pay attention to this cycle. Is it the cycle that we really want, or do we have the courage to break this thing and go bigger and better for ourselves so that we can find the victory and the freedom that we're motherfucking looking for? And this might even have to take a trip of sorts, maybe even a mental one, or if we're super emotional about this right now, allowing our intuition to guide us on those next steps towards our healing and our health, especially if this is the relationship with ourself, all right? But again, asking us, letting with the Page of Wands here, our ambition kind of guide the way, or if we have our own child, letting that child and that relationship there be the thing that stops this cycle and this bullshit. Okay, having this kid and wanting to provide for them, wanting better for this kid, giving them the freedom to go wherever they want and do whatever they want to do in their life. And just the freedom to be a kid, maybe something we didn't get. Again, around our relationships this week, there might actually be a child here that's at the head of trying to, or making us sit down, face our relationship with mother and family and home, helping us heal so we can give this kid the literal world. I fucking love that. If this is around business and career, this is fucking gorgeous. This makes me feel like you should be receiving, because a lot of times 2 pages can talk about messages coming in here. You should be receiving a message this week about the possibility of travel coming up, some huge fucking opportunity. Maybe even like this might be at nighttime. I don't know if it's a weird thing to say, but this opportunity, we might be doing this creative venture, this creative connection in the evening or at nighttime. This might be something like literally from our dreams that we've always wanted to do, something coming to fruition here. And it's because of the work that we've done. We finally reached a space where we're courageous enough to say yes to this thing. Or whenever this call comes in this week around your ambitions and what we want around career and work, are you ready to say yes to your dreams? Are you ready to close out a chapter here? Maybe around thinking that, that you're a beginner. Because baby doll with the fucking moon in the world, babes. You ain't no beginner, babes. Okay? Quit looking at yourself like you're a newbie. You ain't no noob. All right? You know what the fuck you're doing, and you're fucking good at it. It's not a fluke. It's not bullshit. It's not just a one-time thing. Baby, how can it be a one-time thing if it keeps happening over and over and over again that you're fucking awesome, okay? So quit with that shit. Quit with that shit. You're fucking amazing. Lean into that shit. And say, maybe I'm good at this fucking thing. So when the messages come in this week telling you that you're amazing and they want you for these opportunities, it might feel a little scary because maybe we still got that mentality around with the fear. Because listen, with the moon, this can even talk about like our unconscious, subconscious fears, coming up here that like maybe we're not good enough or we're not worthy or we're not ready or this feels bigger than us. You have not been looking at yourself properly. You are not seeing yourself properly. Not only are you ready for this opportunity, but it's time. You are worthy, and this would not be coming to your doorstep if you weren't motherfucking ready and you didn't have the tools. Okay? Just saying, you got this, and I want you to do it. I'll come punch you in the taint if you don't, all right? I told you guys I might be turning into Mecha Godzilla on my birthday. So there's that. Let's see, around health. We got to look at Mama's line. There's something going on here. I don't know why this makes you want to tell somebody, you got to go get your mammogram, ma'am. Go get your mammogram. Get it done. There's also with the moon here again, like ancestry, family, or something here coming down the family, the female side of the family. We need to go and deal with that or face it. Listen, with the world here, this is beautiful. This is good. Okay. So again, like maybe, worst case scenario is something, they catch something, we caught it fast enough and everything's going to be okay. And interestingly enough, I also feel too here with the Page of Wands around our health. Like if we're dealing with this, we're aware of our family history. Maybe even we just did like, par example, we just did ancestry.com and there's a health aspect to it or whatever one of the ones that does the health stuff. And we learned that, yeah, we got a propensity towards, breast cancer, maybe. Okay. So we go get that mammogram done and they find something, but they're able to remove it and everything's okay. And then that way we can pass this on with the Page of Wands to our kid, to our daughter here, making sure that she goes even earlier. The more that we know, like information around family, home, ancestry, especially around our health and especially with the female line, the more that we're able to set up the next generation here to like cut it off even before, not actually body limbs or parts. What I'm talking about is like cutting off this fear, this worry. We're able to catch this so soon or already be on the fucking ball. And so that the next generation doesn't even have to like have that fear, that worry, that freak out. We're already aware. We're already cognizant. This is something that's passed down. And this is only helping further the next generation. I kind of love the shit out of that. Guys, for anything else this week in card pile number 1, don't let your fears and worries guide you. You're so much further along than you're giving yourself credit. And you're about to like close out some beautiful chapters here. Don't be surprised if you've got some opportunities coming in this week around anything, but more specifically around like work and ambition, or just something that even this is our ambitions around relationships or our ambitions around having fucking regular bowel movements. I don't know, y'all. Like, whatever your ambitions are here, it's telling you don't follow the fears and worries. Remember that you bring fucking magic to the table. You are fucking magic. Bring it to the table. Remember who the fuck you are. And just know we're closing out some huge chapters here and that maybe new ambitions and some beautiful stuff is coming up here. And because of the work that we've done, we're going to be given opportunities here to go bigger, to go better, to maybe even travel with an opportunity to travel the fucking world. What? Awesome. You got this, card pile number 1. Titty shake to the bank. Oh yeah, shit. Last thing I want to say. Oh God, I always do this. The moon stands for the number 18. So look for these themes to come up maybe around the 18th of this month. Also 1 + 8 = 9. Looking no later than September. The world stands for the number 21. Look for these themes to come up around the 21st again. So that between the 18th and the 21st of this month. But also 21 breaks down to 3. I'm referencing back to March. So something going on in March is coming to full fruition by September. You beautiful, beautiful bitches. We fucking got this. Go big or go home. Card pile number 1. All right. Card pile number 2. We got some interesting cards. Let's fucking talk about it. You got 1 major arcana card with this one. So it's a pretty intense week. All right. Let's talk about these cards. The first one that you got is the Hermit. And guys, whenever we get these major arcana cards, they talk about major change, major evolution, major movement forward. The next card you got is the Two of Cups. Look at those fucking idiots. And then finally, you got the King of Cups. Let's fucking talk about it. Now, this is an interesting combo because to me, this kind of like right off the bat is making me feel that like we've been through a long period of being by ourselves and we're about to come into union with a very important male figure here, okay? So whenever the Hermit shows up, again, it's a major arcana card talking about major change, major evolution, major movement forward. But also the Hermit here really talks about being like tranquil, going into meditation, 0 dark 30, night of the soul, all right? We got to sit down and face ourselves on some shit or some difficult stuff is coming up. And we got to be by ourselves for a minute. Like can actually be really good stuff, or this can be really hard if we're not used to that or we don't like that kind of work. But like no matter what, when the Hermit shows up, we have to do it, or we've been forced into kind of having this quiet moment doing our thing. Now, if you notice, guys, with the Hermit, he's holding like a little lantern there. Yeah, he's on the edge of a cliff, but he's kind of looking down into the valley below and like seeing what's yet to come. And so being at this elevated space, kind of looking down on our life, trying to find a different perspective around like the difficult things, the daily earthly life that we're living and what we're going through. And there's some kind of light here guiding us. And so, especially if this is around, love and relationships, something important has been guiding us here. Who or what has been guiding us here, whether that be a principle and something that we've learned about ourselves while we've been by ourselves, trying to deal with things, be in solitude, meditate, therapy, just trying to deal with our shit. It's just a beautiful card around like knowing yourself. It's knowing yourself and knowing your fucking story so that nobody can come along and tell it to you. Thank you. I dig that. And with the Two of Cups, this is a card of union. This is relationships. I think it's interesting in this deck because this one's got like the little medical symbol in between. And so there's something here about like, at least, with this deck and this, Two of Cups, there's something here about like love being like this healing balm or this healing salve, or how long... I even want to say how love here may have healed us in some way, shape, or form, or that whenever we inject love into a situation, the power of it to heal that thing, and especially around our unions and coming together. But the Two of Cups is a card of love. It's a card of romance. This is being in partnership and it being like equal playing ground. Everybody's on the same page. We're able to talk about this. Everybody feels the same way. Holy shit, this is beautiful. And then finally with the King of Cups, this is a court card. This usually talks about somebody coming on the scene to help or to hinder. Traditionally, I find this guy pretty helpful. And with these two cards, I find him to be helpful in this combo. With the King of Cups here, this is going to be a water element king. So I'm looking at that in his top 3 placements, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, and his Sun, Moon, Rising, innermost planets, Mercury, Mars, Venus, or heavy water placements here within the chart. The King of Cups is incredible. He is the most intuitive of all the kings. He is the most intuitive. This man really, truly has gifts and abilities. And he's not just like pie sky bullshit. The King of Cups and being in this king position, this man, or look, gender neutral, but traditionally with the king, this is a man. So whoever identifies, or if this person identifies as a male, with the King of Cups, this person, emotionally is in tune with themselves, and because they are a king, because they've got some time, energy, and effort behind, and they've lived their life for a hot minute, okay? They're able to combine not only their intuition with their mind, but like they can work in both of those, the mind and the heart work together here in order to lead them forward. Now, some of the negatives for the King of Cups is he can have a tendency to escape or be in love with love sometimes. But he is heartfelt. He is chivalrous. He fucking means it. And if this man is telling you that he's in love with you this week, or that he loves something that you do, both earth and water take forever to do anything. Earth is way worse, but water is just as bad. All right. Just a little less worse than earth. But with the water king here, he's really thought about it and he's really up in his feels. All right. His feelings be talking to him and he's ready to, for the most part, ready to tell you about it. Unless it's a Scorpio, then we're just dealing with a whole nother beast. They're a water sign, but I attribute them more to lava, if you ask me. I love me some Scorpios. Just saying. But for the most part, with the King of Cups here, this guy loves his family, loves his home, loves his mama, loves his fucking mama, or mama is a very important figure to him. But the King of Cups, like, this guy's chivalrous, loving, kind. can be a little sentimental and maybe stuck in the past sometimes. And again, too, some of the issues here might have a tendency to escape. Maybe you have a drinking problem, drug problem. This could just be as simple as him having a couple drinks a week, or he could be actually be an alcoholic. Do you know what I'm saying? So you just got to pay attention to this guy, see where he's at. So we're looking around love and relationships this week. Hot damn summer in the city. Again, I kind of like I was saying at the beginning, we've been on a dark night of the soul moment. We've been by ourselves for a hot fucking minute. And with the Hermit, this has been a hot fucking minute. The Hermit also stands for the number 9. So the Hermit also tells us we've been on a long fucking journey here and it's about to come to an end. Guess what? Love and relationships, it's coming to a fucking end. The King of Cups is showing up here, and with the Two of Cups, this is real love. This is reciprocal. This is reciprocal real love. What? But you wouldn't have been able to find this connection or be open to it or even maybe even see it and be aware of it unless we went through that dark night of the soul and we were able to sit down and face ourselves, what it is that we want, maybe heal some issues here, and show back up for this. I do feel like maybe we weren't looking for it. And the feeling this week is like this thing pops the fuck up out of nowhere. Another interpretation around love and relationships could even be around friendships. Like we're finally meeting up with people that fucking get it. Like these people are more mature. They're a good match to us. Emotionally, we're on the same space. Also too, maybe we've both been going through a dark night of the soul. And so like coming here together, we're both done with that long journey being by ourselves. We're finally ready for commitment, for being here for each other, or just having a really good friendship, and being friends actually heals us in some way. Maybe even too with card pile number 2, maybe we were friends and it turned into something more. But this really feels like to me with the Two of Cups, God, this is beautiful. And we're able to pour into each other's cups. It's not one begging for the other, codependent bullshit. No thanks. And again, after the Hermit journey, like we don't want that shit anyways. We want grown-up adult relationships where everybody can show up as their however old they are self emotionally, not stuck in the past at 9 years old when shit went down, you know? So this feels really beautiful to me, especially around love and relationships. This is so gorgeous. Again, I just feel like you both have been through the dark night of the soul, weren't looking for it, and then all of a sudden fucking love found us. Here we fucking are. Let's do this. This is gorgeous. And it's just, I would say with around love and relationships of any and all kind, just make sure that we're sitting down and we're talking about it. Make sure that emotionally we're on the same page. We're able to speak about these things. And that this person isn't just make sure that this person is able to talk to you sober. Okay. Weird, right? But also make sure that this person can talk to you sober. All right. If this is around career and business, this is fucking gorgeous. If you were looking to work with others this week, there's an important male figure that should be showing up here that's going to guide the way. This person, man, I feel like they've got good deep connections, or they're known within the community for being somebody that's highly intuitive, like really kind and loving. They look out for everybody. They're a good soul, somebody that you can trust and you feel comfortable with. We actually come into partnership with this person this week, and like whatever we're working on here, like this is fucking beautiful. And especially if this has a creative element or creative bent to it, there's also a healing energy to this. And, or you guys might be working in the actual healing arts, or like literally work for like a hospital or a place where we can get healing in some way, shape, or form. Could even be like physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, you know what I'm saying? And so we're working here with somebody this week in career, and we're really moving ourselves forward. This is beautiful. And again, it's because we've been working by ourselves for so long. Maybe we're finally ready to be in partnership with another, and the perfect opportunity comes up and we're able to move forward. And this person, man, they've got a vision. And I do feel like it's something that they've wanted to work on for a while now, because this guy's looking towards the past. And so bringing something back up from the past, we're able to, work on this thing or bring it back up and let's try this thing again. We're going to do big fucking things. This is awesome. There might even be an element here around this thing where it's making people think and go deeper, and maybe also to consider love and what that means. This is very interesting combo around work and career. It just feels like we're coming into partnerships here. We no longer have to be by ourselves. And it's like we're glad we waited for this partnership. Around our health, nothing could be better right now. Then the fucking Two of Cups with that sign showing up. So I do want to say to you guys, this is like getting, You've been doing this journey by yourself health-wise. It's time to ask for help. And maybe there's a doctor here this week that's just incredibly intuitive. Maybe they're kind of holistic. Maybe they're a DO where they take the care of the whole fucking body. Or maybe we're dealing with like our lymphatic system or water within the body or water issues. Excuse me. Or maybe even with the water here, maybe it's talking about either our breasts again with Cancer, the sexual organs, or like colon elimination areas in our body with Scorpio, or with Pisces, our feet. So we might be dealing with one of those three places this week, and we find a doctor that we're just like, fuck yes, this person gets us, they're helpful, and we get everything that we need. We're no longer on our own trying to figure out our health issues. Guys, for anything else this week, just know the partnerships are coming up in beautiful ways. You're ready to be in partnerships with other people. Look at the ways that you've healed and what you know about yourself, and like knowing full well that you're actually available for these partnerships now too. Like both emotionally and mentally, it feels like here. And it's because of the work that you've done. So well done. You're showing up healed and or healing because you asked for that very same thing too. So well done, you guys. Are you guys done barking with me barking at you about that, you know? So I'm proud of you. I want to say card pile number 2, keep going. Your reflection, your period of solitude, and that very thing that was pulling you through is the very thing that you get to touch and have and be real for you now. So if love really was, or love of something, love of a person, love of a thing, a project, whatever, love of yourself is what pulled you through this difficult time, just know that partnerships of all kinds, being blessed in so many different ways, is almost just like a well done for the work that you've done. So trust your partnerships this week. Get into, just know whatever we waited for here was worth the wait. Fuck yeah, card pile number 2. And then finally, card pile number 3. You guys got an interesting card pile too. It's really a powerful one. Let's talk about it. Y'all got 2 major arcana cards with this one. All right. And guys, again, whenever the major arcana cards come up, we're at a major crossroads. And so this is major transformation, major evolution, major movement forward. The first card that you got is Strength. Fuck yeah. Second card you got is the 7 of Wands. And then finally, you got Temperance. The fuck? Let's talk about this shit. Actually, again, I really like this card combo. I feel like this is really powerful. This card pile number 3 feels really powerful this week. And you want to know why? Because glad you asked. Because long story short, this is like sitting in your power, having patience, and fighting for what the fuck you want. You know who you are. You know what you want. Be willing to wait, have patience, and pull upon your inner strength in order to get towards this thing. All right, let's get to it. With that being said, whenever strength shows up, this card, strength is duh. It's about strength. All right. But this is about our inner strength. This is about the strength that we have to pull upon whenever things get difficult. This card also a lot talks about having compassion and perseverance. I feel like also too, we don't talk about it enough, and neither do I, but also as I'm looking at the symbology on this card with strength, there is even a thing of balance there. Look at that 8, that infinity symbol. So there's something here about balance, compassion, pulling upon my inner strength in order to know that like beautiful things are coming for me. I just got to have the patience around this thing to wait it out. And again, to pull that inner strength in order to wait for what's supposed to be coming to me to come. Now with the 7 of Wands, this is an interesting card because like, this is fighting, but sometimes we don't always know who we're fighting against. And because we can't see the opponents in the card, there's a lot of times a question like, who are we actually fighting? Or could we be fighting ourselves? I like this card with the 7 of Wands because it's my, like, you threw me to the wolves and I came back the leader, you dumb fucks. There's that. And you pitchforks and shit to get me out of here. But whenever I came back, I'm the leader. Now everybody's following me. Like, you can go fuck yourself. It's very empowering. But I also like this card because it really says, like, I know who I am. I know what I want. And I'm not going to give up until I get this thing. And I'll fight whoever the fuck I've got to in order to get this thing. So there's something here about perseverance, believing in yourself. And again, having the patience and the wherewithal. And maybe even like the strategy to know who and what we're fighting against, what obstacles are in our way, and how we can kind of go the distance here to plow through that shit. Don't let anything tell you no. And then finally with Temperance, this is balance. I mean, look at the card, balance. So again, that theme of balance coming through here, and patience. This is the most chill card out of all the deck, you know? And just really also, this is one of my cards of like some being spirit led here. There's a clarion call. There's a clarion call for me to go and do something here. And with Temperance, I got to find my balance first, and then I'm able to like really get into this thing. So around love and relationships, listen, if there's been a period of separation or there's been some difficulty here, I think that this card is just asking you to tune into that strength, have some patience here, and really just continue to work at this thing. There might even be a feeling here this week with card pile number 3, for some people, that we've got to fight for what we want within the relationship, or feeling like we're proving that this relationship can kind of go the distance, or saying like, I'm going to fight for this thing. All we got to do is find balance and trust and be courageous about this, or trust in our strength in this, or have confidence around this thing. For other people within love relationships this week, this is a huge balancing act. And so when we're able to be a little more calm, sit down, talk about this thing, and know that too, that like, look, this thing is a long haul. There might be a fight here, but it's worth it. We're both worth the investment. And so how do we take this thing to the long haul? And exactly who are we fighting here? What are we fighting? And so whenever maybe even changing the way that we're viewing about fighting with each other in relationship, is that we're not fighting about this subject, even though we might be coming at this from two different sides. We're working on this as a team towards a resolution of this issue instead of being at war about it. Does that make sense? So I think just like a mind flip around the ways that we're handling our difficulties or whatever shit is in front of us, having the patience and the wherewithal to sit down and saying, okay, I know I got to work at this, maybe having more patience, maybe having more balance. But in order for this thing to move forward too, we got to stop fighting with each other about stuff. This is about working together as a team against this issue. If we're going to fight anything, it's going to be this issue, and we're going to do it together. I like that. For relationships, it does feel good this week, except for the people that feel like they got to prove that they should be in this thing, or proving that this thing is somehow like what they want. Or that can even be a positive thing too, because maybe there's been a period of separation and we're coming back and we're trying to show, look, I really care about this thing. I had time to think about it. I found some more balance within myself. And now I'm ready to fight for this thing. I want this. I'm ready to fight for it. Let's do this. I actually think that's kind of beautiful. And with the rainbow in the background with strength, there's a feeling here that like the worst is now behind you. And that again, if we tackle this thing as a team together instead of tackling each other, we'll actually get further. I also like too that like, even though the strength has that rainbow in the background, balance, even though the water, there's almost that rainbow there again. Okay. So there's even like a cleansing element to this. So if we've had difficulty, we've been fighting for another, sit down, have a chill conversation about like how we change our mindset on the way that we tackle our issues within this thing. We love each other. We care about each other. How do we do better for each other? This is around business and career. Whew, this feels good to me. You are fighting for what you know, what you want. Quit pretending like you fucking don't. Maybe you know you want to be a fucking rock star, but you think everybody's going to make fun of you. Fuck them. Go be a goddamn rock star. Do you fucking hear me? Go do the things that bring you peace and that build upon your confidence. Or maybe this is the time to take some classes in order to build upon that confidence, knowing full well, I'm going to need patience around this thing to see it to fruition, but I'm willing to fight for it. This might even have a feeling this week that we've got some project that's really fucking important to us. We've been working on this thing a long time. It feels almost spirit-led, like I gotta do this thing. I'm getting signs everywhere about this. I gotta buckle down and say, okay, let's motherfucking go. All right. Not giving up on what you want. This almost reminds me like a dog with a bone. Don't give it up. Okay. This is around our health. This is interesting, because this is saying like, this is the time to fight. So listen, if this is around like maybe some rough diagnosis, this is telling you don't give up that fighting spirit. Please don't, please don't, please don't. And to really lean into this and to find solutions, find ways to also find like more balance and more peace in your life. If we're going to be fighting anything, it's going to be this illness or this sickness or this issue that's at our feet, not my actual self, not the doctor anymore, none of that, none of that stuff. This is finding peace and balance within myself. And if we're going to fight anything, it's going to be this illness and this problem. And then again, with strength here, just having some compassion for myself. Also too, knowing that the worst is now behind me, that maybe we have an answer. And with that infinity sign, we're actually blessed and protected here. Okay. And so in what ways, again, can we have some confidence in our own gifts and abilities, confidence in ourselves, within our health, that we can do what's needed for us, finding that balance and that peace, maybe even removing some stressors from our life, maybe taking yoga classes, meditation practice, strengthening, literal strengthening of the body. If you want to start lifting weights, fucking get it. But again, with the Seven of Wands, looking at our health is like, it's not me fighting my body anymore. It's me fighting this thing. I'm not going to fight myself anymore. I'm going to fight this issue, not myself. I'm the one that I've got to be in connection with and to help myself heal and to go bigger and better here. So again, just having the confidence that I've got this, finding peace and tranquility, maybe even calling on spirit this week to kind of help us find resolution, finding better ways to take care of ourselves and our self-care game, knowing full well that whatever the fuck we need, we are our own best advocate. I like that. I really like that. Be your own best advocate, health. All right, for anything else, this is just a gorgeous combo of like in it to win it. I'll fight you for that piece of string cheese. You know what I mean? That's my piece of cheese. You better fuck off. Spirit gave this to me, and believe me, I've got the inner strength of a lion. I will eat your face. Give me my string cheese. I think that's just my personal interpretation for me. I don't know who else that would resonate with. But honestly, for anything else this week, this is about maybe changing the way that we're looking at whatever we're working towards, and instead of fighting spirit and being mad at them, maybe asking them to guide us and like actually listening to the signs and symbols and doing the damn thing, taking action here around something that we know that we have confidence. We know what we want. We know what we want. We know what we want. Have confidence in that. Go after that thing. And maybe doing it in a more peaceful approach than we have. We don't got to like mow everybody down to get what we want here. We can actually like, you win more, what's the saying? Like, you get more bees with honey. And so you can still fight for what you want, but you can do it in a way that's like in a peaceful, centered, confident way. And that you actually might get what you want faster and quicker that way, instead of like fighting and punching and eating faces. Okay. So as long as it's not about my cheese, then I don't need to eat faces. All right. Everything else, I'll figure out a way. Y'all, okay, last thing with our card pile number 3. We're looking for these themes to come up. Well, let's see. Strength stands for the number 8, so I'm looking towards the month of August. 7 of Wands, I'm looking at July. Temperance stands for the number 14, broken down to the number 5. 1 plus 4 equals 5. So May, July, August. These themes are really going to be coming up. Summer's going to be litty titty. All right, so stand in your fucking strength. You get more bees or flies with honey, whatever the fuck the saying is, and don't give up on what you want. You are confident and assured. Trust yourself and where the fuck you feel like you're being led right now. Trust yourself and what the fuck you've got, because you've got something real. All right. Hope to God that made sense. Any and all feedback helps me to grow. Middle fingers for no, caca for yes. You guys always, every week, thank you so much for the space to do what the fuck I love, for listening to me ramble on like the crazy woman I am. Thank you for giving me this beautiful platform to like just express myself and allow myself to be me. And thank you guys for like just giving me a new lease on life. I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to. Because it's like, have you guys ever tried to live your life pretending that you weren't something, or holding some part of yourself down so powerfully? Like it's unbearable. I can't live like that. So I'm just so thankful to have a space here where I can be myself, that's celebrated, and that you guys actually dig it. What the fuck? I love you guys so goddamn much is what I'm trying to say. And I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Let me know how your week goes. Let me know if your pile resonated for you, okay? I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.